Hello, in this video I'm going to show you these three machines, what they do, how they work, and then I'm going to show you how to build them. But first I'm going to show you them in action. Now, the entrance might get a bit of lava and like even some flowing inside, but the rest of the tunnel will be cleared. So as you can see, this one makes a 2x2 basalt tunnel, this one makes a 3x3, this one makes a 5x4. This 2x2 is practical for just having a walking path. This 3x3 is practical if you want a bigger one, or if you want a boat track. You can place ice in the middle and go super fast. Or if you want to go even faster, this one is perfectly sized for a piston bolt, where you have space for a rail curver and pistons and repeaters and everything. So yeah, now I'm gonna explain how they work. So the way these work is based off a new mechanic added in the latest 1.16 snapshot, 20W13B, or it might have been added in A, I'm not quite sure. But the way it works is when lava touches blue ice, not packed ice, not ice, but blue ice, and soil, it creates basalt, or basalt. The ice can be on any side, it doesn't matter. The lava can also be flowing, but the soil has to be beneath. This won't work, for example. Now the way a lot of these machines work, since this basalt gets quite in the way, it uses something from Ilmango's bridge builder, which is this little mechanism here. What's so great about this mechanism is that you can power it through block using an observer which will move the entire contraption, or like this part, by one block. Which is pretty useful since this doesn't have any slime blocks, so it won't stick to the basalt, and it is quite small and convenient, so you don't need to have a separate flying machine or a motor for each part of for each block that you need to move. Right, so here I'm gonna show you is like how the basalt is created, since when you look at the bottom here, this is quite easy. You just place soil underneath. You can either do it like this, like that, or most easily that. So now all these four have soil and ice. But you can't do that for the top part, since this one, then you're just removing a basalt, which is stupid. So what you do is just move them up and place soil under them and ice, which will create a structure that looks like this. And then you just use a few pistons and push it down. Same with the other side, of course. So now you have a 2x2. What's done for the 3x3 is quite simple. For these parts, you just make like that, the top like that, and then I create these one to the side. So now I can place soil there, and here, and ice in something like this configuration. Now the way I do the 5x4 is actually just kind of similar to the 3x3, I extend these heights like that, which might look a bit dumb and makes it quite wide, but it's actually pretty easy to retract, so it makes some of the building quite a lot simpler too. Then place the ice something like this. Right? So what this does is a basalt structure like this, which can be quite easily retracted using something like this. And then it moves over like so. And I have another piston there that just, yeah. So then that creates a 5x4. Now let's start building. Alright, what I've done is I've set up the thing from down there. So, and I want to, like, while I'm showing you how to build it, I want to go through my thought process in making it too. So the first thing, we need to push these 4 and these 6 blocks. Now, what you can't do is do this, because that would touch all these basalt blocks, which wouldn't move. What you can do instead is this. Then when you push this, I need the redstone block. When you push this, I mean, it works, but it's quite expensive. Like, this is 12 blocks, and you also use quite a lot of slime. So what I figured out is you can actually move these as well as these ice blocks, and then use slime blocks. This then creates this 8 block thing, and 2 slime blocks there make this a 6 block thing, and then that makes the basalt there instead. Now what I'm gonna do is add the motor, or the thing that moves the whole thing, and first I'm gonna move all this 1 block backwards, because this engine is gonna move, like, it's gonna move, and then the part down here is gonna move, so this one needs to be 1 further back to start. Alright. It's quite a simple mechanism. Sticky piston there. And then we add a piston facing that way. Now the way we're gonna power it is we're powering it at the same time as we're pushing down these blocks, remember? These blocks need to be pushed down to make the wall, as we did down there. So what we do is place a piston there, and observer here, as well as an observer here, and a piston there. Now what this observer is going to do is it's going to power this piston through quasi-connectivity. If you don't understand what that means, I would suggest looking it up. If you can't be bothered to learn what that means, don't. But this works. I would also suggest placing an immovable block both in front and behind this. Now, we also need to send a signal through the basalt here. How we do that is we add 2 slime blocks like that, and then the observer there. And what this is going to do is it's going to power, once it's moved the 1 block over, it's going to power this piston, which will move this over using the mechanism I showed you over there earlier. Right. Then we also need the original design featured more of these placed like this. Don't build this, by the way. This is just, I'm gonna show you something. Like this, and then because the basalt is there, and then had a mechanism to power this, and this was again moved by some block, and this was again powered by a observer like that. There, and then this again was powered through the basalt like that. But that made it quite long, so I decided to make these bottom ones separate flying machines, just for simplicity. Now the way we make these is place a piston like that, oops, an observer like that, then we place a slime block like that, a piston like that, and an observer like that, I think. Ah, shit. Oh, oops. This moved. That's why you place obsidian. Right. Is this correct? This looks great. Ah. I forgot to mention, this needs to be moved back by a block. So, there. Excuse the unprofessionalism. So yeah, the same on this side. Move these 2 blocks back. Place a piston there, an observer there. A piston there, a normal piston. By the way, for those wondering, I'm using a resource pack called, or I'm using parts of a resource pack called Vanilla Tweaks, which adds these slime on the side and the arrows here and such. VanillaTweaks.net, I'll link it in the description. And there. Right. Now all we need to do, I think, is power it. So that is done by something like this, where we use a redstone line to update all of them. Like this, so that makes a staircase for the redstone to travel up. Then I just used a button, doesn't really matter, just some way to power this. And we should be good to go. Now what you'll notice is this line of blocks. This is essential for making it run outside of the lava, because this part is powered with this observer through the basalt, right? So if you run it in midair, there's not gonna be any basalt here, right? So this won't get powered, or it might be because of bud powering, but at least for parts of those it won't get powered. So what you do is place a line of glazed terracotta blocks. Now this is because they don't stick to slime blocks. So you can, this won't get stuck because of these blocks, but it would still power through it. Now we can remove the obsidian and try. I'm not sure if this will work, but I hope so. Fingers crossed. And it does. Woohoo! Okay, now I need to stop it. Yeah. Ta-da! Now the 3x3. This is the baseline for how I'm gonna do it. Like, this is where I started, kinda. Now, I'm gonna first look at this middle part. You can add 3 slime blocks like this. This creates a 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 block. I don't know what to call it. A block thing. Uh, but again, these are quite impractical because I can add this, but that's dumb. I can add this, but that's almost dumber. And I can't add this. But what I can do is this, and that works quite well because I have just enough blocks to do this. That's 12 blocks with that one extra there. And then I also just do the same down here. Which is a lot more practical because I just need to push this block and it pushes those two. Now I guess we can start with that. Quite simple. It's the same mechanism as I've showed you earlier. You're gonna see this repeat quite a lot. I use this so I don't actually accidentally move it, and also when I'm cloning it, like copy pasting this, because that's the same as that, which is the same as, you know, these often update when you do that, so I'm used to putting these there now. Observer, sticky piston, normal piston. This is not necessary and also temporary, but you know, better safe than sorry. Now, inside here, there's of course gonna be basalt. I still don't know, haven't bothered checking. No, because when that moves, it's gonna power there. Like that, and like that. And then we're gonna do this, and I think, yeah, like that. So we're gonna power these blocks. I can remove these because we're gonna power this thing. This moves this one ice block. We also need a way to move these two, which is done through this block. In quite a weird way, because I need to move this piston. I can't move this here because I can't have slime blocks there. So I need to move this, and for that I need actually a activator or a powered rail, like so. Then a piston there. We also need to power this somehow. You can do it there or anywhere really. I'm building this at the wrong place. Sorry. This of course needs to be built here with this there. Like this. We also need a way to power this piston. Either behind there or here, doesn't really matter. And of course, do the same on the other side. Now I think I forgot to kind of explain what this does. When this is moved over here, this piston will get quasi-powered or like bud-powered, but it won't realize. The only way I found to make it realize is by having an activator or powered rail or redstone dust, but that will break. So I'm using this slime block thing to just move that along. Thankfully it doesn't get removed by the lava because of these and the blocks up here, so it just works. Now of course we also need a way to move this, so that's just a piston there and an observer there. And then we also need to move this whole structure. The way we do that is I'm gonna add a obsidian just so it doesn't move. Way we do that is by placing that like that, and then we do like this. Now the way this works is when this moves this block, it's attaching to this block, which moves this block. So the whole thing will get moved even if those aren't connected. But one thing about this is the basalt will come through here and it will stick to that block, which we don't want. So what we do is we just add a piston there. We just move it up. So then it goes here. But we want to bring it down again, so we add another observer, a slime block, and a sticky piston, which will move it down again. It's a stupid solution, but it's a solution. Now, we also, since these will still be... Ah, shit. That's why I add the obsidian normally. These are still like far out here. We don't want that, so add a piston there. And of course on the other side. And that should be just about everything. Now, similarly to the 2x2, this one also powers things through these basalt blocks and have slime blocks here. So I forgot to get some. What you need to do is for this to actually like get into the lava, you can of course just build this under the lava, but that's impractical. You need these blocks there, these blocks there, and these also need to stretch back to that piston, similarly to this piston, as well as these can be on the block to this and to this, which also need to extend, and the same on this side, which also go to there. These aren't strictly necessary, so, but of course you can also add these just to avoid lava flowing in. Not necessary, not a bit handy, but yeah. And then you should be able to just fire it up, activate this one, and it should work. Now what you'll see is the sticky piston can't pull these down again. It's just gonna disassemble once this is done, but in the start of your tunnel it's gonna look like this because of those supporting blocks, but you can just remove them and add your own like that. And of course this will all generate as basalt. Alright, on to the next one. Now on to the 5x4. Not quite sure where to start. I realized, like just now by the way, that what I did up here was I just removed all of this, did ice like that. But you can actually do it like this with really you save 4 slime blocks and don't really lose anything. But yeah, these are the same mechanism as earlier, just like so. I'll also add these because when this moves it's pretty annoying. Um, Same for the bottom. Of course, I wouldn't recommend actually putting in the basalt here, because it might break it. Like so. This bottom is also the exact same. Like so. The way I do this is 2 pistons like that, and then I use 2 observers like that, and here I power these on top and bottom too. So this will be powered through this, of course, and equally that. I don't quite remember how I made this. Right, okay. I'm also adding a slime block there and there, which I'm powering here, like so. And is this? Yeah, I'm adding this and that. Now, what this is gonna do is, through this, it's gonna power 2 of these, which push soil there and the ice there. This will get moved through the same mechanism we saw earlier, which includes a piston like that, a rail there. I don't have a rail on me right now, so I'll go get one. Like so, and an observer to power it. I did it another way there, but it doesn't matter. The same for the other side. No. I'll add these so they don't move by accident again. And I'll remove these for now, because I don't need them right now. Right, again this. Oh, oops, my bad. This, of course, will move, so it won't power it, so that needs to be there. And like that. This might get a little bit complicated, so I'll just give you a 360 view. Right, so we had a slime block there, and 3 pistons. This is the mechanism I showed you way earlier over there somewhere, where we retract the 3 blocks that are offset using an observer that is right there. When the blocks will come over, here they will be retracted and stay there. These ones will be retracted to there, move over here, and be retracted to there. So we'll all line up. Right, same on the other side. Observer there, 3 pistons there, and a piston there. Now to move this all, we add 3 more regular pistons, I think. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, yep, because this will need two pistons to like move. This works at least. I think it was something along the lines of this. No, that needs to be a stick piston, of course, because it pulls. Like that, and then a regular piston, like so. Oops. And a way to power it. I'm gonna add a obsidian there so it doesn't start moving. Like so. That's pretty much it, except now there's gonna be quite a lot of lava because of this block here, mainly. Which is gonna like cause the whole thing to just be full of lava, which is impractical. So we add that, and it's like this, and then added 5 blocks, like so. But I figured out that you could actually place these with observers, and do it like this instead. I need obsidian. This isn't really necessary, like, at all. But you can... what this does is it will make sure there's no lava in the tunnel while it's being created. But they're not strictly necessary. You can also just do this and remove them.